one of the first advices that we see that he gave was his own action of going to the minbar, going to the pulpit, and asking people if he had ever wronged them. And there are 3 ways in which he asked people. Number 1, he said, have I ever physically harmed you? Number 2, have I ever emotionally harmed you? And number 3, have I ever financially borrowed and not paid back? These are 3 methods of oppression that we must be very vigilant in our lives. Can't take them lightly. Can't take them lightly. Number 1 is physical. Obviously, we know we shouldn't hit people. And financial, we know that we shouldn't remain in debt. It's not a good thing. We should always clear our debts. But the one that I want to highlight for us today is emotional abuse, emotional pain. Some of us feel sometimes like making fun of people is a way of showing love and affection. But wallahi, it's not. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, in Surah Hujurat, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا يَسْخَرْ قَوْمٌ مِّن قَوْمٍ عَسَىٰ أَن يَكُونُوا خَيْرًا مِّنْهُمْ. And then he says the same thing about the women. He says, don't make fun of people. Don't call each other bad nicknames. If Allah is saying this in the Quran, not to make fun of someone, then don't you think that generally speaking, people get hurt? We think, no, they won't get affected. He knows that I love, up until a point. But making fun of people is very, very rough, especially spouses. You know, a lot of us, if we're married, some people, they develop like weird nicknames for their spouses that are actually really offensive, right? Like fatso and stuff like that. You know, the Prophet ﷺ, he had a nickname for his wife. It was Aish. It was a cute little nickname for her to show his love. Her name was Aisha. He used to call her Aish. Yeah, Aish. Just to show his love for her. He didn't call her any mean nicknames. He didn't call her any negative names that made her feel, or she never called him any names that made him feel less of a husband, or he never made her feel like less of a wife. No, the nicknames were always positive, always loving. So we have to be very careful about emotional abuse, especially within the family, especially with our friends. Because it's interesting, we always abuse the people that are closest to us. It's very ajib, it's very interesting. Like the people who we don't know, we are very cautious about not offending them. Someone that works at a restaurant, someone that works at a store, we're always like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump into you. But you bump into your mother at home, right? If she's cooking and like you bump into her and she burns herself, you're like, oh, watch out, right? Why don't you say sorry, you know? Or you bump into your dad as he's carrying something in, you're like, Dad, move, I'm trying to go, right? I have to go update my Facebook status again. But when we bump into someone at the store, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry, can I buy something? Like, did I offend you? We have to treat the people closest to us the best, right? That doesn't mean that we treat other people badly, no. But it's very strange to treat those who are closest to you with lack of respect. We need to make sure we don't emotionally abuse people. This is one of the advice.